Hello, hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever your time scale in the world is. Welcome to my live cast on YouTube. And one of the many voices of the TBC community around the whole world. It's a great privilege for me to have you on this live cast this evening. At my time, it's 6:25 West and Central African time. So 6:25 p.m. West and Central African time. And I'm so delighted, I'm so glad to shoot this live with you because today I'm so happy, I'm so excited. I just wish to share some thoughts with you. Uh, Popularly, I'm known on Facebook and in YouTube as More for Money. More for Money. Why did I decide to give myself this name, More for Money? Guys, it's run back way since August, I think it was August 2017, if I'm really exact with the date. By then, I started my online, how can I put it, broadcast online on YouTube. That is where I came in contact with one of the great leaders that at that particular point in time that ruled me through, and he was in the name of Wilson Randy, and a very great guy. I love him so much because he really treated me, pampered me, guided me, and talked on me on how to let my voice being heard. So that is when I started my journey with doing live cast on YouTube. I couldn't set a YouTube channel. I couldn't look at the camera and talk fluently and let ideas connect themselves and flow through like I'm doing right now. But in the course of doing and in the course of expressing my mind and talking about things that tie to life and its realities, I let her find my voice. I let her find my stand. I let her find a position in which I can express and air who I am, what I believe in, what are my thoughts as far as the world is concerned, how am I going about life. You know, guys, I have always gotten this feeling in me that if we can talk to people, we can change their mind. As great minds will always say that to change somebody is not to give him something, but is to make that person's mind to tick on a particular aspect. And once you make minds to tick, people can change themselves because only somebody can change himself. You cannot change somebody. So at that particular point in time with me, I had this view, this dream of opening up to the world, trying to get an opportunity in which I can air who I am, air my views, say what I want to say, uh, be free to give my opinion of what is taking place around the world. But now, today, with the course of doing it, I'm really top of my phone. I can get people talking to me. Can you imagine that my YouTube channel is having 174 subscribers? Guys, boo! That is awesome. I'm so glad of that. So, guys, what I'm sharing today is the happiness of what this has brought to me and the type of people I've contacted on the internet. I never knew the internet has such a very big community and such good people. I thought most people that are on the air are there to do one business or the other, or they are for one trouble or the other, or they are the so-called type that theirs is only to chat and text and Instagram, selfie pictures and all whatnot. Because I'm somebody, I'm not so that inclined to such things because for me, I like virtue, I like orderly constructed things. I like people that are contributing, people that are standing and saying something and doing something for the world to advance. So once I started listening to a lot of people, I have a whole broad list of different motivational speakers that I've been listening to for years, pastors. Talking about motivational speaker, we have Eric Thomas, which is one of my best. We have Brian Tracy. Brian Tracy is one of my excellent also. We can name, there are many. There are many. We have Zig Ziglar. We have, come up, guys. Your name should come up. There are many that Les Brown that I've been listening to for quite. Those are the guys that started giving me that burning desire, that to believe in me, my self-sufficiency, my self-openness, my believing in the capacity of the the person who God have made me to be, believing that I came to earth to contribute my quarter to the construction of the universe. I came to earth to give people an opportunity to see the world differently. I even say it most of the time that if I'm still living right now and being sound, heard wise, intellectual wise, financial wise, is because I have a contribution to make to the whole world. So, guys, this is what I'm excited about. This is what I'm so happy about. I cannot stand boldly talk to people. I was a shy type, man. Woo! Being a shy type, I've been teaching for quite a long period because I think I left the university is virtually 2010, and I was looking for a job 2010, 2013. I finally got a job in 2013 because I did economics and accountancy. I had certificates because I call them certificate because those are certificates of, I call them indoctrinated camps. Guys, by that moment, I was not yet enlightened to be on top of the light as I'm right now. Because in 2013, I got a job with a building construction company. I was an assistant accountant to that building construction company. And I worked there for 6 months. And the company was not functional well. They put us on probation. I left there. I went to an accounting cabinet where I turned around for a couple of 6 months also because I wanted to perfect and be practical in the accountancy and auditing with taxation field because it has to do with a lot of practical work rather than the theoretical aspect of it. You need to be on the field, do it right there, meet up with different cases and try to treat them with the taxation officers and run here and there to meet up with one or two requirements and all whatnot. Guys, after those experiences, I never had a job. I left the cabinet without a job. And I came back, I was being carried upon that was a new faculty that was open that was to train professional insurance brokers and bank workers, something of that sort. I enrolled for a 2 year program. I enrolled for that 2 year program. And in that 2 year program, I virtually I finished that program, but I didn't defend. Do you know why I didn't defend? I came to realize at the end that I was doing one and the same thing. I came out from the university with certificates that couldn't give me a job. I went for 6 months of probation. They couldn't sign me a contract. I went to the cabinet for 6 months to get a job. I couldn't have one. I came back. I re-enrolled, and wow. And I was still in that cycle. That is the time I hit it out. That bullshit. What is this? I need to make something of my life. And I went out. I started looking for something to do. So luckily, in a professional school, I was called upon to assist lectures in accounting and many other general disciplines around accounting because I'm so good in that. I believe I was so good in that, but there was not no opening for me to really put it out. Little did I know that I was being prepared for something. So that is the opportunity of teaching that mold me out from I think was virtually 2015, 2017, 2018. No, 2000, yeah, 2018. Because I met TBC by 2017 August. And when I met TBC, I was still teaching in that professional school. I was even up to the head of department and I was coordinating everything. But once I met TBC, it clinched in me. I'm working something in me. Since I've been so body inclined to motivational mindset, I like people that bring up others, that say words that can make others to change their personality, to quick up and stand up for something new. So as I was embracing things in that domain and in the school in which I was, there was enough Wi-Fi. I could go to the internet. If you come to my former machine, guys, you'll be mind blown. I downloaded videos, tapes of most of the motivational speakers that I was inclining to. I was listening to them. Those words were really making sense to me. But once I hit with TBC in in 2017. And I think the experience with which I hit with TBC, I can really share with you, because at that particular point in time, I never really knew that TBC was to make a major change and a major turnaround in my life. I'm a sport practitioner. I love sports a lot. I practice sport nearly every morning. I also even start shooting my videos of my practice every morning and be putting on my YouTube channel. Why not? It can do me a lot of publicity because it's who I am. I'm living who I am. So I need not to hit any part of my personality. So not to lose you along my explanation, let me keep to the point. So we went for sport practice one Saturday morning, and a friend of mine, Derek, yeah, that is the name, Derek, Juicy Derek, he came for sports and he was telling me, man, I have this new business that people are talking about. They have invited me for a blah 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 ceremony, and I wish to go there by 2:30. And as you're from sport, I believe that you can accompany me by 2. Let's go. I told him my Saturdays are very reserved because that time that I was teaching guys, I was fully loaded with work the whole week, and weekends were just the resting time for me. So by 2:30, Derek insisted. He came to my place and said, "Guy, accompany me to this place. Let's go." Ba 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 ba. I finally give up and we went. I was in a short with my slippers. I put on my gum. I put on my cap, and we launched to the hotel. That hotel was called Lewat Hotel. We came to Hollywood Hotel was about 4, yeah, 3:30 getting to 4. And they say the conference has already started. Once I barged into that conference, do you know who I saw? I saw in that conference Mbe Dorothy, because Mbe Dorothy, that is the wife of Ambassador Mbe. We have once been schoolmates at the university. We had a school union at the university, of which I was doing reading economics. She was reading commerce, and in the professional school of commerce. So we had a union at the university. We used to meet together. So I saw her, and I saw she was one of the presenters. I said, "Whoa, madam, you are presenter of what kind of business? Scammers are scamming people around. You have already become one." I just told her that is what I was saying in my mind. And I was so anxious to talk to her, to tell her that, oh, you have entered the game of scamming, because at that particular point in time, a lot of things was going up as far as scamming is concerned around the world, around our world here in Douala, Cameroon in particular. So as the meeting unfolded, I was just there and matching my gum, because I used to love chewing gums. Pop, 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 pop with my gum. When Lidam Bey get up, by then I didn't know Lidam Bey. He said, these are the statement, guys. That is why I say I'm so happy and excited to share with you some thoughts of me. He said, if what I'm about to say, if you know that you can stand the instance of billions, if you can stand words that have to do with billions, please, this is not the environment for you. Get up and peacefully leave this environment, because what I'm about to say is only money and billions and which you can have. I say, hey, my brother, I've looked for a job for a couple of years back. I don't see, and the only place I fitted myself was teaching. And you come here one Saturday evening, you're trying to tell me that if my ears cannot fit to hear about billions, let me quit. Me quitting? No, I will hear about billions, man. So that is it. The guy started talking about TBC. 1 billion coins were created for 1 billion people. The army want to make 1 million billionaires, and was it 1 billion millionaires, 1 billion millionaires, and 1 million billionaires. Huh? I said, man, I'm looking for many of these guys just talking about billions as if they are coming from the thing air. What's this? What shit is this? What are these guys talking about? That is how I stood up. I pulled out the gun from my mouth. I was now so concentrating. I was watching at them. I was listening to what they were saying. I was focused. The guy was there pumping. If you can invest this for this number of days, this is what you're going to have. This money in your wallet keep growing from 1 to 5% daily. That is how my heart was pumping. That is how I was sweating. My heart was pumping. I was sweating. And at the tail end, it's a blockchain. You need to have a wallet, and this is the amount for the people that have been in. This is what they got. Man, I asked. It was not even time for question. I put my hand up. I asked, how do we know about this? How do we come in contact about this? They told me they're going to give me the address of the website. By then is the www blog, the info, TBC info. I don't know whether I'm giving the right address, but they gave me an address, and the explanation that continued. I was listening to it like somebody that is waiting for bread milk from the mother. That is, it was something that was directly linked to me. I thought it was I when we leave the place, I told my friend that, guy, do you understand what this thing is all about? The guy was not even so connected to it the way it took me. And let me make the story a little bit short. That evening, I didn't sleep. I came back. I increased my internet data from what was there to, I think it was almost a gig. And I, from 8 p.m., because we left late, they had other explanation, blockchain and other explanation that related to it, and people dragging left and right and snapping with the president. By then, for me, it was not the purpose, but they have struck a light in me by that particular moment. It was bubbling in me. And the so-called my upline was seeing me for the first time, because my upline by then was the downline of Leader Bay. That is the person that put my friend in. She was the one to introduce me in. So she was the one trying, telling me that I was no more listening to her. I said, I have my website. Let me go and do my homework, because I'm somebody, I love doing homework. I know that for you to have the content of something in its entirety and get things well loaded in such a way, because I love to learn alone, because I'm being a teacher, and I know that for you to really be on a position to teach globally and to teach in such a way that everybody in the class will have the possibility to get you through, you need to go an extra mile. So I always like to see things from different standpoints, different authors and all whatnot. And I love reading. I read a lot, and I have books. If I show you my downloading a site for ebooks, you're going to be marveled. It's true that I've not read most of them, but when I see a new book, I cannot stand without getting it, because at a particular point in time, I like to go to those books and pick up specific concepts. And that is why once I left that evening, I did my research it was from 8 p.m. right up to 3 a.m. in the morning. I didn't sleep that night. I was marveled with what I was discovering on the internet. And this is something that I never thought of. And this is something I need to point out to you. When this issue of Android phones started, I was not so inclined to Androids, because I said people were wasting their time on Androids, because I saw the people that were, I was used to them, that were using Android was for WhatsApp, Facebooking and all whatnot. I said, I don't have anything to do with that. But that particular day, I browse, I discover what is digital economy. What are the different branches of digital economy? I went on YouTube. I watched some videos about TBC, digital economy, other cryptocurrencies. What is Bitcoin? That was my first time to come in close reach with Bitcoin, and started trying to understand what is Bitcoin. And I'm bilingual. I have no difficulties reading what is English or French. That is how I was boxing through everything that has to do with digitalization, cryptocurrency, and all whatnot. I was just biting it. I had that desire that this thing is something great, something just innate in me, that this thing is something that will change the world. Because I'm somebody, I look a lot in the future. I always vision the future. I always sit down, and as my great motivator will always say, that always sit down and vision your life in 10, 20, 15, 30 years ahead, or even lower. So once I got digital economy, I read what was digital economy, and I was not taught in school, because I read economics. I was not taught digital economy in school. I started saying, but what was this guy teaching me? Or instead of teaching me this, that is what is coming, and is what we should be fighting to see where we have a standing. They were teaching me rubbish. They were teaching me the migration, calculation of maturity units, and all bullshit, man. I started my personal education at that particular moment as far as digital economy is concerned. Do you know what? The next morning, this is my Visa card, and it was still a UBA Visa card by then that I had. It's even the card that I went to change to a new one yesterday, last Saturday. The former Visa card, I went out that next morning. I withdrew 125,000 from my account. I think it was the only savings I had at that particular point in time. I was a class teacher, guys. I went to my friend. I told him, "Who registered you?" Because I couldn't contain the eagerness to be part. Even if I'm part, this is my idea at that particular point in time. Even if I'm part, I don't get nothing. Being part of something that is the future, I'm glad. I will be fine. Being part of something that is the future. I was so anxious in that way, and my only concern was that I want to be part. Whether I'm part, I'm getting or I'm not getting something, it's not my problem. So I questioned my friend. My friend took me to the person that registered. We was a downline to Linden Bay, direct downline to Linden Bay. And she took my 100,000 and she told me Linden Bay was out of town. He will be coming later in the evening to register me. I was calling that girl 25, 30 minutes every time on that same day until Lidambe came back that very evening, and the girl couldn't register me because she also was not well schooled at that time as far as TBC is concerned or the registration is concerned. So he registered me, and if you can look at this, my name, you have this, my name, Mufo. My name is Mufo with O. Since at that time, since I was mounting pressure in the course of registering, instead of putting O, they put U to my name, but that couldn't bother me, guys. My problem at that time, I want to be part of something that I knew is the future. That is what my mind told me, that, guys, this thing is the future. Be part of it. You are getting nothing. I don't want to know how to gain. I don't want to know all about it. What I want is to be part, because I know digital economy, as I've read over the internet, is the future. So that is how I was enrolled. The next day, they brought my details to me. I tried to enroll in my account, and once I enrolled in my account, to make the story so short, that is how I started asking, how can one be formed? How can one go about? Leader May at that particular point started meetings on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays were the day of formation. Thursday was the day of general information, and that is how I started with TBC. Since that day I started, guys, since that day, July 2017, as I started from that day, I've never quit TBC. It's true, it took me a lot of time to really work out who I am. That is why TBC have molded me in all aspects. TBC have aligned me in all realities. It has put me through to the level and the stage in which I can or I couldn't imagine. So that is how I got in contact. We started formations. I was pertinently listening. I copied. I have books that have copied everything. I would jot everything, meeting I jot. And so locally, so since I was so engrossed in it, he one time said he wants to multiply his presenters for TBCs, and one competition was launched for TBC presenters. And guys, I went to that presentation. Let me not just tell you what happened at the end. That presentation was mind-blowing. We selected two of us, and we joined the crew of Lidden Bay, and that is how we started presenting. But by that time, I never knew what TBC. I'm telling you, I never knew what TBC was globally all about. I just knew TBC is to fight hunger and poverty around the whole world with the mission of love and respect, and it's a global mission, and that is how it was to look like. So we are participating to help solve or empower people to have the possibility to sit up. You see that it ties down with all those my motivational reading and in billing power from motivators that I was listening to. So that is how the connection ticked in for me. And I started speaking. I started going to seminars. They started giving me the economy aspect of the presentation. What is money? The history of money. And that is how I went on research. I started coming across money. Want to go through the history of money and the evolution of money and say, man, why have one been enslaved like this? This is how this thing has worked, and this is how these guys have enslaved us. And that particular moment, I tune in with awesome leaders, awesome broadcasters, a good number of guys that were doing it wholeheartedly at that particular point in time that we're broadcasting. I hooked up with them. I used all my money on data. I paid data. Data. Formation TBC. If you said at that particular time a formation was where I will be there. And I told you my sole purpose was that I want to be part of something that is the future. I never knew it was to be something that is an economy on its own, is life in its unison, and it is what we are seeing the world in a different dimension. So from there, I continued, I started vibrating, and I found out later on that, guys, the greatest way to win it out in TBC was to talk to people. Talk to people. And this guy has been a very shy guy. Oh, you need to talk to people. So how did I go about talking to people, man? Guys, it was not easy at the start. I took the challenge and I took the position of a class teacher that is awesome. I went out for roughly 6 months, I think. Yeah, 6 months with one lady. That woman is called Ma Christie. Mama Christie. I went out purposely with Mama Christie. My intention was this: me going out to talk to people about TBC and talk to people about this opportunity was my position to be rejected. I wanted to be rejected. And that rejection would turn me all around. So I had that intention in me and I put it into practice because I'm a guy that once I have an idea with me, I always put it into action. I don't keep ideas. Admin talked about, they talked to us about something very interesting today, and this is it I'm putting in action. So if you want to be a lender, come to see me. But what made me to go out and talk to people is what I've just told you. I wanted to get rejected and I wanted to overcome the shyness to speak to people. I wanted to make my opinion to count. This issue of letting your voice being heard, even if it is what somebody have said it in your own word. So that is what was bubbling in my mind. That is what was carrying me all along. So I went out for almost 6 months talking to people, rejection upon rejection, talking to merchant, promises that were never met up, failed promises. I talked all the time. I'll go back to Leader B. I'll complain. Man, those guys promised they will come to the meeting. They will come to the general meeting today. They didn't come. 10, 15, 20 people along the week will promise. I share my cards. I produce cards. I share everywhere. Church after church, I will go to the entrance of the gate. I will do meetings. I will go. I will talk. And rejection was there. But as the SW say, it's some will, some won't. And so what? Next. So that is how I continued doing it. And before I know it, I started registering people. Gradually, there were very few, guys. I can have one for 2 weeks, one for 1 month, and two for 1 month. And that is how I keep on doing it. And gradually, I was picking up. And also, since I'm bilingual, I started finding it very interesting for me to speak both to the French and the English, because this part of the country in which we are is the French speaking part of the country. I'm from the English speaking part of the country, as equally as Lidambe. We are from both the Northwest, which is the English speaking area of the country. So being here, our French is not so that to the top of the top, but we can go through, we can communicate with it since we have stayed here, since I've did all my university studies here. So I really stand a good position to speak the French and speak it well. So I used that opportunity, start talking to people. And what was all about it that I later on understand was the excitement. I'm supposed to have just been excited about this thing, but I was trying to convince these people because what the vision ties with me was so interesting. I was so glued to being part of something that is bigger than what I have ever seen and what I could have ever imagined. So that was the standpoint in which I was talking, but I supposed to have talked to them about what the exciting part of it. So it is later on that I started getting myself adapted to talk to them and filter the information, make it unique, and turn it all around to bring them to subscription and all whatnot. That is where I was corrected gradually with the formations and with the leaders, and me practicing it by putting it out daily, doing these broadcasts that I'm doing right now, speaking to people, going out, talking about TBC everywhere I go, try to make people to understand that the mentality in which we are living is an enslaved mentality. We need to change things all around. Need to see things from a different dimension, from a different perspective. Let not be fooled by the realities that surround us. Let's change the circumstances that surround us. And that is how I started putting the message out. And gradually, I started making my stand. I started on YouTube. But let me admit to you that talking freely live broadcast on YouTube, I was a little bit shy because a lot of students that I've taught, because I taught professional students, that students from the university level, because the professional school was a mixture of everyone, those from the secondary, those from the university. It was just a place for people to have the tact that can permit them to get a job. So I was so well known on Facebook. So I thought I used to criticize people about talking about businesses on Facebook, and I used to make jokes on that in class. And that is how those guys, I was waiting for them to turn around and do the same for me, because since I was presenting this thing that I was so glued to it, I was a little bit afraid. I started live shows on Facebook, and it never went out as I thought, but the critics were up. But as time went by, I've overcome it. So why am I so excited and happy telling you all this? I'm telling you is that I've made a movement, and that movement has made me to know who I am. That is, I have been reawakened. I have been brought to the stand of whom I supposed to have been. Thanks to this movement, I've seen the lamplight. If I die now, I would die a free man. I think so. Because I've come to understand that life is all about living who you are. If God has given you all these potentials, I have eyes, I have a good head, I have a good hand, I have a good height, guys. I'm very tall, healthy, muscles, I go for sport. And if I'm enjoying all these things, why can I not be grateful? Why can I not be thankful? Why can I not be so rejoiceful, excited? And this opportunity now that I'm in, that is permitting me to make both end means. I've made money in TBC, and it has permitted me to uplift my life, see things differently, work from home, have my free time, do whatever I want to do. So it is what makes me to this point. I say thank you to the initiators of such a movement. Guys, being part of a movement like this have changed who I am. I can now reconnect and feel the essence and the duty that was bound on me to be on earth is to share with the others, put it out to the others. What you have already, share it out, spread it out to uplift others, permit them to gather that strength and that stand and that energy to know that their contribution to where they are counts a lot. So this is what is really making me to be excited today, because I'm me. I've discovered who I am. I've discovered who I was born to be. It's amazing. It's crazy. Thank you, the movement of TBC. Thank you for making me to come back to be who I was meant to be. I will ever be grateful, and I will ever put all the energy I have in me to see that this movement uplift other people, permit others around the whole world to see that they can disconnect themselves from the mentality and the mindset that has been holding them captives, of which I was part for quite a long time. This is a hooks that was on for all 3 months that we have been at home. But right from the onset, I was telling guys around me, this thing is not real. But now most of them are just shyfully coming around me. Mr. Know All. Who told you? How did you come about? So this is what makes me to be very excited. Thank you, this movement of TBC. God Almighty, wherever you are, and the inspiration you're given to the instigators and those who start this movement, quadruple their strength, give them multiple might that they can keep on feeding us and giving us the requirement that we can teach and teach others for them to see life on a new perspective, guys. That is why I'm so excited. That is why I'm so happy. So this was my monologue today about who I am, and I will continue with other lives to show and tell you that, guys, I'm seeing life on a new dimension. Wouldn't you want to see life on a new dimension? If you want to see life on a new dimension, join me. I will show you, and you may be living the same thing I'm living. Thank you to have been on this live. Mechi Ike, the optimist, was the other guy I have in the chat, but I'm so proud of you, guy. I'm so proud of me. I'm so proud of the movement we are leading. Thank you very much, and see you in the next. TBC is my birthright. Thank you to have been part of this movement. Thank you to continue being part of this freedom movement. Thank you very much.